Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, going to be talking through some MLB player props I like for today, for Monday, July the 4th. Happy July 4th to everyone watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoy the day off. I'm sure most of you guys have the day off of work, so enjoy the day with family, watch some baseball, and hopefully we can win some money today. But I got 3 player props I like for this July 4th slate. Usually on July 4th, the MLB, they kind of spread out the games throughout the day. There's going to be some day games, there's going to be some night games. First game of the day does start at 11:05 Eastern time, so very early game. If some of you guys are on the West Coast, this will be starting up at like 8 a.m. And there is one play that I do like in this early game that we are going to discuss. So I got 3 plays I like, kind of spread out throughout the day. I got 1 or 2 plays I like in the early games, and then I have 1 play that I like in the later games, in the night games. But yeah, big slate for July 4th. Again, hope you guys enjoy the day with some family, eat some good food, and again, hopefully we can win some money. But before we get started talking through our plays for today, guys, we can recap our plays from our last video, which was on Saturday. Didn't make a video for Sunday, and normally I don't make videos for MLB on Sunday just because like it's all day games. But I definitely wanted to get a video up for today, even though it's for the holiday. But for Saturday, we gave out 3 picks on Saturday. One of our guys did not play. Brady Singer, we took the over on his fantasy score, and he actually didn't pitch on Saturday. They wound up pushing his start back to Sunday, so that was a DNP. Just that pick got voided. But the 2 picks we gave out that actually played, we gave out Jose Urquidy over 24.5 fantasy score, and he had a great start. He crushed against the Angels, went for 49 fantasy points, wasn't a sweat at all. That was an easy cash. Sadly, though, the 1 pick that did not hit was over 5.5 strikeouts for Logan Webb, and it was tough because he finished with 5. He was right there. He had a ton of 2-strike counts in that game. I was watching that game. I was watching it down to the wire, and I was sweating it out, and man, there was so many opportunities for Logan Webb to get strikeouts, and he just couldn't punch guys out. He started off, I think he had 2 Ks in the first 2 innings, or 3 Ks in the first 2 innings, and then after that, he just couldn't strike anybody out. Ultimately finished with 5 Ks, came up just short of his projection when we needed 6 from him. So that was a tough loss. Kind of sucks losing that 2 pick out by 1 strikeout, but it is what it is. We move on to Monday, and again, guys, we got a lot of games today, a lot to talk about, so real quickly, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you guys have not yet. Also, if you're new here and you want to sign up for Prizepicks, you can sign up and use my promo code NOAH. Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And if you bet player props on a sportsbook or any other DFS site, you haven't given Prizepicks a try yet, definitely get over there, sign up with that promo code so you do get a deposit bonus when you sign up. And one more thing, if you guys really enjoy these YouTube videos, if they help you out a lot and you want to get more Prizepicks plays from me, I do provide those over on Patreon. You can check out the Patreon link down below in the description if that is something that does interest you. It is the beginning of the month. It's kind of early on in the month, and those are always the best times to join the Patreon just because with how their payment cycle works, you want to try and join early on in the month so you get the most value out of your subscription. Check out the Patreon if you're interested. Get access to some additional Prizepicks plays I like. I'll take a look at the board once again on Monday morning, find some more plays I like. I'll share those on Patreon. Also, I will give out my 2 favorite plays overall on the day that you can run a 2-pick power with, and we've been doing really well with those. We've actually hit our top 2 plays 3 days in a row now, and hopefully, we can make it 4 days in a row after Monday. So, if you're interested in the Patreon, check that out. It's linked down below in the description. But let's talk through our plays for July 4th for Monday's slate. So, again, the first game of the day does start at 11:05 Eastern time, kind of an early start. There's a play, though, that I do like in this game, and it's going to be the over 24.5 pitcher fantasy score for Patrick Corbin. And I do also like his over in strikeouts as well. That line was at 4.5, and it did get bumped up to 5, shortly before I started making this video. I was going to play his over in strikeouts. I was debating, do I take over strikeouts or over fantasy score? I'm going to side with fantasy score, but I think Patrick Corbin's going to probably go over both those lines, his strikeouts and his fantasy score, just because the matchup is so good. Now, Patrick Corbin this season has not been that great of a pitcher. He's actually kind of struggled this year, but it is worth noting that he's coming off by far his best start of the season. Last start out against the Pirates, he went 8 innings, only allowed 5 hits, 1 run, had 12 strikeouts, and finished with 67 fantasy points in his most recent start against Pittsburgh. He has already faced the Marlins once this season, which is his matchup for today. He's already faced the Marlins once this season on April 28th. He went 6 innings, had 8 strikeouts, gave up 2 runs, and finished with 40 fantasy points. So he crushed against the Marlins early this year. I think he should have another good game today because this is a matchup that just sets up so well for lefties. If you look at where the Marlins rank this year versus left-handed pitching, they have the highest strikeout rate in the league, and it's not even close. Like, they're 3 percentage points higher than the next team, which is the Pirates. 28.6% K rate for the Marlins this year versus left-handed pitching. And if you look at where they rank offensively, their batting average, their on-base percentage, their slugging, all those numbers are towards the bottom. They have the worst batting average in the league versus lefties this year. They have the second worst on-base percentage. Slugging, they're second worst in that category as well. OPS, they're second worst in OPS. ISO, they're fourth worst in ISO. WRC plus, the Marlins are second worst in WRC plus. Like, they're just bad in every offensive category, and they also strike out a lot. So this matchup really couldn't get any better for Patrick Corbin. I was on Patrick Corbin's props last time he started, which was against Pittsburgh. I took his over strikeouts that day. Obviously, he had a huge game. I'm not saying Patrick Corbin's a good pitcher by any means, but when average pitchers get these really friendly matchups, usually they're spots you can kind of take advantage of. And this is definitely a spot where I think, even though Corbin's not the best pitcher, these lines are too low for the matchup. Like, his fantasy score today should be like 27.5 or 28.5. I think 24.5 is definitely too low. I think his strikeout prop should be probably 5.5, maybe even 6. This definitely should be a spot where he's able to get some strikeouts, just because this Marlins team does strike out so much. I mean, you look at their lineup for tomorrow, their projected lineup. 33% K rate for John Birdie this year versus lefties. Garrett Cooper, 26% K rate. Jesus Aguilar, 33% K rate. If Sanchez is in the lineup, he's got a 46% K rate versus lefties this year. Avisel Garcia, 34% K rate. Small sample size, but Brian Anderson's K rate, 41%. Like, these guys just strike out so much. The matchup's so good. I think Corbin should be able to do enough today to get 25 fantasy points. He might give up a few runs, but I think he'll definitely be able to get at least like 5 or 6 strikeouts. Hopefully he pitches deep enough to get maybe a quality start. If he gets a quality start, he's almost certainly going to go over this fantasy score for today. So I'm really going to target the matchup here, and I like the over 24.5 pitcher fantasy score for Patrick Corbin as our first play for today. And then our next play is going to be another kind of matchup-based play, and we're going to be taking the over 27.5 pitcher fantasy score for Zach Plesac, just all due to matchup. Zach Plesac gets to face the Tigers here, and the Tigers are a team that I've picked on all season with opposing pitchers. Like, anytime pitchers face the Tigers, it's usually going to be a friendly spot to target if the lines are appropriate. And I think these lines are probably a little bit too low for Zach Plesac when you factor in this matchup. Now, kind of similar to Corbin, Plesac is not a great pitcher by any means. He's just kind of been average this season. But this is just such a good spot that I think even though Plesac's not like the best pitcher, I think he can still get us 28 fantasy points just because of how good the matchup is. If you look at where the Tigers rank this year versus right-handed pitching, top 5 in strikeout rate. They have the 5th highest K rate versus righties. And very similar to the Marlins, they rank towards the bottom of the league in every offensive metric versus righties. Second worst batting average, second worst on-base percentage. In terms of slugging, they're dead last in that category. In terms of OPS, dead last in that category. ISO, they are dead last in ISO. WRC plus, they're dead last in WRC plus. The matchup's just too good to ignore, and I think these projections are definitely too low for Plesac when you factor in how good this matchup is. And again, like, Plesac's not a good pitcher by any means, but just take a look at like the Tigers lineup and look at the K rates for some of these guys. 26% K rate for Javier Baez, 28% for Miguel Cabrera, 32% for Robbie Grossman, 26% for Torkelson, 30+% K rate for Tucker Barnhart. Jonathan Scope, K rate just above 21%. Really, the only guys that haven't been striking out in this Tigers lineup are Riley Green and Willie Castro, and Harold Castro too. All the other 6 hitters have K rates above 20%, and a couple of them have K rates above 30%. So definitely a spot where Plesac should be able to give up some strikeouts. With how bad this Tigers lineup is, like, I don't think this is a spot where we should really expect Plesac to get blown up. There's always a chance he gets blown up just because, he's not the best pitcher, but I'm definitely going to target the matchup here. I think Plesac can get us 28 fantasy points. He should be able to pitch deep enough to probably get a quality start. I think he maybe could get a win as well. Should be able to get some strikeouts. And this is kind of another situation where I was looking at his strikeouts versus fantasy score. Right now his K prop is set at 4 or 4.5. So if you wanted to take that, if you wanted to take his over 4.5 Ks, I think that's fine. I think Plesac probably gets at least 5 strikeouts today. But I feel a little bit better about fantasy score just because there have been a couple games this season where Plesac did not get 5 strikeouts but still went over 28 fantasy points. Like against the, let's see, I have his game log pulled up. So on April 21st, he faced the White Sox. He had 36 fantasy points but just 3 strikeouts. And then he faced the White Sox, had 36 fantasy points and just 3 strikeouts. There was one start where he got 5 Ks but did not go over fantasy, and that was against the Astros, but he gave up 7 runs in that start. I don't think we can expect Plesac to give up 7 runs today, and if he does, well, we're probably not going to, obviously we're going to be toast, but I definitely think Plesac can go 5, maybe 6 innings, potentially get a quality start, probably get 4 or 5 strikeouts. Maybe he gives up 1 or 2 runs, if that, but I just think this fantasy score is a little bit too low for the matchup. I like his over fantasy score. If you want to take over 4.5 strikeouts, I think that's solid as well. But I'm just going to target the matchup here. I think Prizepicks will be able to definitely pitch well in this spot, and I'm not really too scared of this Tigers lineup in general. So these are 2 pitcher props I like for today, and then our third play is going to be a hitter prop going to one of the night games, and I'm going to be taking Ronald Acuna over 8 hitter fantasy score. I think it's a great spot here for the Braves. I think this is definitely a spot where you should expect the Braves to put up some runs. I kind of like the over on a lot of their hitters, like Austin Riley, Dansby Swanson. You could take their over in fantasy scores as well. But Acuna is the guy that I really want to target here. Should be leading off for the Braves. And love this matchup for him and the Braves in general going up against Dakota Hudson. Dakota Hudson so far this year for the Cardinals just not been that good of a pitcher. You look at where his his metrics rank offensively, or not offensively, but his metrics rank on Baseball Savant. All of his percentile rankings are terrible. I mean, there's a lot of blue, and blue is bad. His K rate, chase rate, whip percentage, like the dude doesn't get any strikeouts. He has a bottom 5 K percentage, just a 13.3% strikeout rate. He's given up a 293 expected batting average, which is bottom 10% in the league. All of his expected numbers are higher than his actual numbers as well. So that could even make it assume that maybe he's even getting a little bit lucky. Maybe he should be doing worse than he is right now, because he's given up a he's given up a 312 WOBA, but he has a 359 expected WOBA. He has a 383 ERA, but his expected ERA is 491. So this is definitely like a great spot for the Braves. They should put up a lot of runs here. I don't know yet what their implied run total is for today, but I'm sure it's going to be probably 5, if not maybe even close to 6. I don't know what the weather looks like in Atlanta. If it's going to be like hot and humid, that could definitely benefit these Braves bats as well. Hudson is just not that good of a pitcher. He doesn't get any strikeouts. The Braves should be able to put the ball in play, and obviously when a guy like Ronald Acuna is putting the ball in play, he's usually hitting it very hard and he's hitting it very far. The one thing that Acuna does struggle with is strikeouts. You look at his percentile rankings, there is a ton of red, which is good. The one things that are blue that are not good are his K rate and his whip percentage. As we just discussed, Dakota Hudson, terrible strikeout rate, doesn't get any swings and misses. So the matchup just sets up so well for Acuna. He should be able to get on base, hopefully at least once or twice. Acuna is always a threat to get stolen bases as well. Stolen bases are huge for fantasy score. They're worth 5 points each. So if Acuna gets a single, steals second base, that's 8 fantasy points, and just like that, he's tied his projection. If he comes around and scores a run, that's 10 fantasy points, and just like that, he's gone over. But Acuna has so many ways he could go over. He could hit an RBI double. He could hit a home run for all we know. I mean, Acuna is a great hitter. It's a great matchup against a pitcher that doesn't get any strikeouts and has been getting hit very hard this year. Love the spot for the Braves. I think they should put up a lot of runs today, and I like the over 8 fantasy score for Ronald Acuna. But these are our 3 plays for this July 4th Monday slate. Hope you guys enjoy this video as always. Again, one more time, hope you guys enjoy your July 4th. Whether you're spending the day with family, watching some baseball, whatever it may be, enjoy the day, and let's try and win some money today. But again, good luck tonight, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you have not yet. Also, make sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code NOAH when you sign up for Prizepicks. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But that's all that I got for this slate. Good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.